Hey, this is MassX with a brand new Kaiju number 8, the game video, and we're going to talk about this game. Been playing it for a few hours. This is going to be your home screen. I've already done a reroll video for this. If you haven't started the game yet and are interested in rerolling, check that out. I'll leave a link in the description. But here we go. This is your main screen. You are going to have a main story mode where you're going to do most of your pushing. You're also going to have a training area where you're going to get all sorts of stuff that you're going to need for building up your characters and weapons in this game. There is a beginner's guide that will open up once you play through a certain amount of the game. And then you will start to follow that too, because you're going to get all sorts of good stuff in there, like more characters, lots of 4 stars. So my next thing that's left for part 1 is all that's left is I just need to enhance one weapon to level 10. It's pretty simple. So you're going to want to follow through that. You're going to want to be doing that in pushing your story mainly. You do have a missions area, but I can tell you just by playing through your story, you will clear those missions for the most part, so it's really easy, so you don't have to pay much attention to that. But that is the main cusp of the game. There is an expedition mode. I have not opened it up yet because it is an 8-minute tutorial for the first time you play it. So we'll circle back around on that in the next few hours or tomorrow. In the characters tab, of course, you're going to see all the characters that you have at this time. My main 2 characters are Reno and, of course, Kaiju number 8. I highly recommend, if you are going to reroll, that your key should be pulling that Reno off that banner. He is really good so far. Done a great job. He has 2 attributes which no other character has at this time. He's very handy. And Kaiju number 8 I picked because he does not need a weapon, which has pros and cons, but for early game and pushing, I look at it as more of as a pro, and he is an absolute beast. Pairing Reno and Kaiju number 8 together, I have just been pushing content, push, and I hit my first wall after 2 hours of playing using those 2. And again, it's a natural wall because, quite honestly, I haven't updated any skills. I haven't pushed it past level 20. I haven't done any specific training to push anything else up on those characters. So it makes sense. I'm sure once I do that and start pushing their skills, they're just going to be going forward again. So that is the basics of it. You have your characters, you have your squad setup, and then you have the shop. I know a lot of people are always interested. The first thing I look at is what they're going to be charging. So this game is interesting because we'll talk about the gacha in a second, but when it comes to the shop, everything is very reasonably priced on its face. If you look at store purchases, there is nothing over $59.99, which is actually pretty darn good. You know, the days of the $100 packs should be gone, and they should be in that $60 area at most. So that's the good news. And at a $60 pack, you are getting 5,500 dimensional crystals. Now, to pull, it is 1,500, so you're basically getting 3 pulls out of that, with almost a 4th pull. So now when you extrapolate it out, if you were to do 2 $60 packs, you're basically going to have 7 10 pulls. So I'm not so sure how great that is when you look at the gacha. Now the rates are actually really good. The one thing I don't like about it is this gacha medals exchange. You're going to get 10, and as you can see, I have 10 because I haven't put anything into the game. I only used my 1 single pull, which I got Reno on. Now, with that, you are going to get 10 medals, or 1 for each pull that you do. But in the exchange, you're going to notice it's 250 of those to get the character and 150 for the weapon, which is an ouch. So hypothetically, you could totally just crap out on getting Reno, and it would take you that many pulls, 25, which is crazy. 25 10 pulls. And why do I say that? When you look at the gacha overview, there's nothing about pity in this. The only thing that they really discuss is if you don't get a character and you just get all weapons, that your next time around you will get a character C for every pull you perform in the pickup gacha. You're going to get the medals. We talked about that. Guaranteed 4-star or higher in the pickup gacha. If you perform 9 pulls that all result in weapons, your next pickup gacha pull is guaranteed to be a 4-star or higher character. But you don't see anything else, like no soft pities. So I am a little bit concerned about that. Now the rates themselves, it's 3% for a 5-star and 5% for a weapon. So the likelihood of you pulling a 5-star weapon is very high. And that's why a concern of getting Reno's weapon was not that big of a deal to me, because the likelihood of getting his weapon, or a weapon that would be top tier that would work with him, because you can use some weapons with all characters. So there you go. But is much higher at 5% for weapons. Now the appearance rates, all this you can see, and then the for Reno, for that banner, the pickup, it equates to you have a 1% chance out of that 3 to get Reno. And then of course his AR, you have a 1% chance. So I just wish they would have had some sort of soft pity in their system. It doesn't say anything about it. You just have this gacha medal exchange, and I just don't like it at 250. Now, if the weapon was 100 and the character was 150, I would think that was totally fair, and we would not even be discussing this right now. But I did want to bring that to people's attention. But they do a lot of that type of stuff. They're the other type of game medals. This is for your standard banner, where they're going to have the other characters, and as you can see, they're also 250. But they also have the weapons too that coincide with them. There is encounter stones that you are going to be able to also use to get items, a weapon exchange, and credits. So they do offer a lot. But that main store purchase area, though, I've got to say, pretty fair on that one. I mean, even just looking at the game gacha ticket pack, 10 tickets, $6. That's pretty darn fair, Now, of course, these are for the start of the game, so you can discount really any of those after this. But when you look at your basic ones, you're just going to have a 99 cents to a $59 for your dimensional crystals, which is going to be your mainstay for that. They do also have one paid banner where you're guaranteed a 5-star. Just putting it out there. If somebody's going to put some money in, there you go. You'll get yourself another 5-star. So that wraps up most of what you're seeing here. Now, you also have this message section that's going to pop up based on what you're doing in story or characters you pull. You will get some crystals from there, so it's worth doing it. Something I'm not a big fan of. There's also an achievements area too that you're going to be able to collect your stuff from, so you're going to want to keep checking that. Pretty straightforward. There is no PvP in this game. There is going to be a type of raid mode that will be coming. You can change the backgrounds to what you're seeing based on how you're proceeding through the game. But right now, that is about it. You got some login stuff that you're going to get, but this is just a quick overview. So the game itself now, let's get into that for a second. You basically are going to have a 4-character team. They are buddies, the two that are right beside each other. So right now, Reno and Kaiju number 8 are buddies, as well as Kafka and Koda are buddies there. They do have an auto setup, a quick setup system. You can get into your characters from here if you want to do anything, change out a weapon. Like I was talking about before, your skills, if I wanted to go ahead and upgrade some of my skills, etc. So that is really handy, actually. So once you're ready to go, you're just going to hit deploy, and then you are off to the races. Most of the sections will have some story mode up front. that will be up to you if you want to read through it. They are going to do some original content in this game, so keep that in mind. But if you don't, you can just hit skip and voila, you are done. And you are off to either another story section or your battle. So looks like we're going to go into our battle. This is actually where I just got stuck with this kaiju right here. But we're going to go ahead and just show you some gameplay here. We'll go ahead and slow it down so it's just at normal speed. You do have a 2 times and then just a 1 time speed. And the auto, you can do it manually or not. At the bottom, you're going to see the order of how the characters are going to go. The key is you're going to be trying to take the plates off of the monster that you are fighting, the kaiju. When you take out a plate, it will stun them sometimes, or when the core opens, and you will get follow-ups from your other characters, which helps out immensely. And it will even say on the screen, follow-up. When you get enough SP, that's when your ultimates will be able to go off. When you're just doing normal attacks, you're gaining 1 SP each of those times. So keep that in mind. So most of the time you're going to be doing your basic attacks, you're going to be building up your SP and then going for your ultimate. Now again, you also have your skills, etc. So it is pretty much as clear as you see on the screen right now. This game is not too complex out of the gate. The key is attributes. The key is setting up your characters to have the ability to be able to counter that particular kaiju. I didn't even bother to look to see if these characters do all add up to counter this kaiju, because I just went right into it for purposes of the video. But yeah, Reno is just badass. Both of them are. They just do some crazy damage. He looks good too. Oh, yeah. But it is that simple. So your combat is really going to be straightforward. You just really need to see what you're up against for purposes of playing, so you know. Ooh, it looks like it took out 2 of the characters. That's probably why I lost. Those 2 characters, just so you know, are only level 2. I put all my levels into these 2, and so far they kept about half their health. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to have to I'm going to have to look and see what the other 2 characters' attributes are. But as you can see, I'm about to die anyway. But it is really that straightforward. Match up against the attributes of the kaiju you're playing and take out the plates. Once the core opens up, it pushes that character back. If you see warning on the kaiju coming up, that means they're close to letting off their ultimate. So you are really hoping that you can get those plates done and the core opened up, so you have the ability to push it back so it can't get its ultimate off. But it's really that straightforward. There's nothing crazy here. But if you're a fan of the IP, you're probably going to enjoy this game, because graphically it looks great. You're going to get some original story that is being done with the help of original writer. And so, yeah, so you're going to get some fun stuff here. And they really look like they're trying to make it feel very authentic, at least to the anime. So that's kind of nice. Is it going to be an incredibly challenging game? Only time will tell. At this point, of course, we're at the beginning phase, so we'll have to see where this goes. But the fact of that they will be having a raid system is nice, since they do not have any sort of PvP. There should be a tower mode too opening up. The PC version is coming. I don't know why it didn't simultaneously release with the mobile version. Maybe they wanted to see how many people get on the servers. This really blew up the pre-registrations in Japan comparatively to everywhere else. So it's going to do a fair amount of money just in Japan alone. but we'll just have to see what they roll out over the next few weeks. But if you're a fan of the IP, you're a fan of turn-based, and you like what you see, I would highly recommend giving it a shot. But if you are interested in re-rolling and who to get, I'll have a link in the description for that video. But that's just a quick overview of Kaiju number 8, the game, if you're interested in seeing what it is about at this time. So with that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.